I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the old
he helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped Gilligan get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to the children? Why you lying to the children? RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been to bed. Man, they know contest. Yahuwah, he do the blitz. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing hard with big manodas. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh lordy, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he farted. He thrown into the hills like a Philistine. Jihad hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the ratchet team. JJ 7000 to debate me. I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. Respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother, balling and crawling all the way from H-time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Mito got the Rorschach and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, I'm dope and wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as the realest, Death by cut, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been there. Man, they know contest. Yahuwah, he do the blitz. Why didn't take it over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck. I'm stepping on everything, nigga. Metaphorically, of course.
Peace. The Mad Scientist. You know, to catch me on my Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Bing, on all Eric the Mad Scientist. And you can check out my Instagram, TrueHot30. Got some good video for you. Before that, introduce. Oh yeah, and don't forget. Forgot about it. Don't forget, y'all sign up for the 32-man tournament, man. Get up with that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's March the 5th to the 10th. So y'all get up there. It's $700 grand prize, man. You can win $700 just from showing your intellect, just from building with brothers too, because the debate is about building too. But oh, you want to play a video? You play.
Out of my fire, fell in love with it again. Restored my passion, where I be excited by fast. Family Bible study, conference. I'm a flex, my move confident. The things I do for you, they confidential. There in spirit, all up in the bed. It ain't a matter, need another word. Ignited my fire, fell in love with it again. Restored my passion, where I
Sunday, February 19th, it goes down. Or should we say it goes up? The Light Magazine and Kingdom Culture Radio presents the 4th annual Drip and Sip Remix with live performances by Sister Shalom, Yapa Q, King 7,
coming in, we got them stacking to the ceiling.
Also performances by Ayo Ben Yahoo, Jamel the Trunk Rattler, and more. Hosted by Monologue Magod. With DJ Dr. J on the ones and twos. You don't want to miss this righteous party. Doors open at 5 p.m. The location is Live Wicks, 2405 South Collins Street, Arlington, Texas. Get your tickets today at tlhmagazine.net. The 4th annual Drip and Sip Remix. Don't miss it.
Yep, and support them. Support the tournament, support the live shows, anything that the Lions Den doing again. Support it, like and subscribe. I'm gonna let the Queen of the Lions Den introduce herself, and then we can get into the video.
Yep. Shalom, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. I appreciate you tuning in. Please enjoy.
Okay, I like showing a video before I go to the masterpiece because I got to get people in here, and I know people might get late notifications. So this one right here, I'm gonna show the origin of mysticism and how it's nothing but a watered down misinterpretation of Greeks getting it from Kemet and didn't know and didn't understand. So and which mysticism created a lot of things like Masonry and stuff like that. So just letting people see that a lot of stuff that they claim they're getting all the way back to Kemet and stuff is actually getting it from Greeks and Greek mythology. Okay, so y'all enjoy this video. Oh, I got a shirt. Let me see. Let's see which one is. Let's see which one. This one. Okay. Okay, that's it. All right. Hope you enjoy. Check this out. Making this presentation about mysticism, and showing the origin of how when people could come and take a people belief and through misunderstanding can actually change the understanding of it and then pass it down to the people after them, thinking that they're getting it from the original, but actually getting it from a copy of misunderstanding. Let's get to it. Mysticism. Ancient Greek mysticism by Hannah Shapiro. The Greeks gave us the word for mysticism. The Greek word muo means to shut the eyes of the mouth. Muo is closely related to the verb mio, to initiate into the mysteries. The closed eyes and mouth in this context do not signify blindness and muteness, but secrecy and silence. In order not to reveal the secrets of the initiation and revelation that one has received, these Greek root words have given us mystic and mysticism, mystery, mysteries, as well as mute. Every time we talk about mysticism, we speak a bit of the Greek. But what exactly is mysticism? The word is often downgraded to mean superstition, priestcraft, occultism, and magic, or other things that are regarded as irrational, all of which are somewhat related to mysticism and the mystical life. But the basic meaning of mysticism has to do with the relationship of human beings to a divinity of deity or for non-thesis. Thesis. So that's letting you know the breakdown of what it really is, and like I said, how we get the precept of what we think it is. But really started off at, and let's see what I'm talking about. Now this right here This is the oldest secret society. Let's see where they say they get theirs from. Rosicrucians, the Rose Cross lays claim to being the oldest fraternal order in the world. They believe that all knowledge is part of the single ultimate truth, a truth they kept for 5,000 years. They state that they state they began in the magic and mystery schools of ancient Egyptians and kept the secrets intact through the age despite being jealously prosecuted by religion and kings alike. Or so Michael Mayer claimed in 17th century French. They traced their established in Egypt. They traced their beginnings to the mystery school, which was established in Egypt during the reign of the pharaoh Thutmose and Hatshepsut. Around 1500 BCE, the monarchs united Egypt's various cults into a single state priesthood, the Per Anku. The order claims their most famous members were Akhenaten and his wife Nefertiti. So this is the oldest organization, claiming that they get it all the way back from Egypt. And this is why I say most of these people that's talking about they getting their origin back from Egypt, they're not telling the truth, or either they just don't know. So let's go. Let's show you what I mean. Okay. Egypt inspired Greeks. Ancient Egypt's neighbors in Greece wrote their belief that Egyptian priests and magicians possess secret knowledge. Greek belief in Egyptian secret knowledge is one strand of Greek philosophy that contributed to the modern belief that the Egyptians perfected mysticism, astrology, and magic. A wide variety of modern truth seekers have looked into Egyptians for inspiration. They included the Freemasons, Rosicrucians, Theosophists, Anthropophysics, and Afrocentrists. These groups share a belief that Egyptians both created the first civilization and that their knowledge has only recently been rediscovered by modern science. So they say this is a lost knowledge that they believe have been found later on. But if you look, it's showing that they're saying that Greece got their knowledge and learned from the Egyptians. Okay. Mysticism, astrology, and magic. But let's see what the Greeks did. That's what changed it. All right. Now, let's go to one of the gods of Egypt first. And let me show you how it changed from one thing to another. And this is what I'm talking about. How can us, who getting some thousands of years later, think we're getting something intact and 100% correct? And then it has been translated. Okay, so let me get to my point. Thoth. In the Old Kingdom, the Egyptians regarded the god Thoth as a violent deity who helped the king defeat enemies. But in the Middle Kingdom, the Egyptians identified and gave Thoth credit for the first statement of knowledge of the next life. The coffin text spells inscribed on Middle Kingdom coffins refer to the divine books of Thoth and to the god as the Lord of Wisdom. Now you see how from the Old Kingdom just to the Middle Kingdom how it changed. Just from the Old Kingdom to the Middle Kingdom. He became a divine deity that helped the enemy. That helped the king defeat enemies to a person who created the knowledge and writings and spells. Come on now. Now that's just from what they would say are the same people from the old to the middle, but we know it been, invaded a couple times here and there. So, and that's why I said it can't stay intact through invasion. Now let's go to who Thoth really was. Because Thoth's not even the original word. You see what I'm saying? So even then, they still was changing the words to benefit their understanding. And when you do that, it's just not going to never be the same. Egyptian's name was Jehuti. Also, Dhyty, meaning he who is like the ibis. The ibis was a sacred bird that ancient Egypt was well as a popular the bird in ancient Egypt as well as a popular pet and associated with wisdom. So this is the symbolism part that people not understanding. And see, the Egyptians, they didn't look at it as far as they worshiping these gods as real people or real gods like we do today. But the problem is, to like I say, Israelite, this is called idol worship and God worship because they made images and stories behind it and called it a deity. That's why if you hear them in Kemet and Israelite argue, Kemetic said, no, we have deities and not gods. But to an Israelite, it will be the same. So, you got to go to the aspects of what eyes you're looking from. How Greeks stole from Egypt and created their own. The story of Setni Cambrus was written in the Ptolemaic period. It tells the story of the struggle between Setni and the magician Neferkaptah for possession of the book of magic written by the god Thoth. Greek ideas that Egyptian magic stems from the god they believe was Thoth's equivalent in their own culture, Hermes. Greek writers regularly misinterpreted Greek stories to create a philosophy called Hermetism that they believe was Egyptian, but in fact was a Greek misinterpretation of Egyptian culture. There is no evidence that the Egyptians believe in mystical relations of knowledge in the Greek sense. So this right here is telling you it was misinterpreting things that fit their philosophy. So they were taking these things, switching it around, changing the name, changing the understanding, changing the definition of the gods. You know what I mean? But it was similar because it's not from. They saying it's not these people are saying it's not for purpose on purpose. They say it's because of the misinterpretation, because of the way they thought. If a Christian right now go into an Old Testament, like I said, an Old Testament guy wrote a book, and a Christian tried to read it, right? Do you really think they'll be able to do it? Because one believes in a Trinity, one believes in a man that's coming to save, and the other one only believes in God. So, of course, they're not going to interpret or even through translators to really understand where this person is coming from. It's just what it is. The cultures are different. The belief system is different. Greece created secret cults. In ancient Greek cults, initiation was the norm. Initiation consists of secret rites, ceremonies, orders of instructions used to allow a member to enter a sect or a secret society, usually one that held a certain philosophy about Egyptian life and the gods. The Greeks assumed the Egyptian cults also had initiation. The mysteries of Osiris and Abydos are the most frequently cited example of initiation in the Greek sense, yet the festival route in Abydos, as with festivals routes in other Egypt's towns, points to a public ceremony with processions to public shrines, singing, dancing, and general rejoicing as integral and to the festival. As late as 200 CE, the Christian writer Felix knew that Abydos festival was public rather than private. So what they're saying is they was creating secret societies and initiations coming off of believing that the Greeks was doing this, but not understanding that it was not a secret society. And they're saying it's not a secret society because they was more public with theirs. This is when it started becoming more secret and secret society where you had to get initiated and do things once the Greeks got a hold to it. So modern mysticism and secret society origin is Greek influence. Thus there does seem to be an Egyptian basis for many ideas propagated by the ancient Greeks by Egyptian spiritual knowledge. Clearly, however, the Greeks interpreted much of what they saw in ancient Egypt to confirm with their own ideas of spirituality, philosophy, and secret knowledge. Though there was an Egyptian basis for many Greek ideas about ancient Egypt, the Greeks' distinctive interpretation led to many modern views of Egypt as the land of mysteries, spiritualism, and secret knowledge. Again, it's just showing. So all that secret society, mysticism, all that stuff they saying it came from Egypt, no, it came from the Greeks who misinterpreted Egypt. Greek Mystery School by Met Museum. Shrouded in secrecy, ancient mystery cults fascinate and capture the imagination appendant to the official cults in the Greeks and Romans. Mystery cults serve more personal, individualistic attitudes towards death and afterlife. Most were based on sacred stories that often involve the ritual reenact of death, rebirth, myth, and particular divinity. In addition to the promise of a better afterlife, mystery cults fostered social bonds among the participants called mystia. Initiation fees and other contributions were also expected. Department of Greek and Roman Art. Now, you see what I'm saying? Even they was making money off this. This is an ancient thing. So the people that's doing that today understand. They are doing this because of money. This is a beneficial thing to make people think that they're part of something secret and special. Earliest mysteries. Eleusinian. The earliest and most celebrated mysteries were the Eleusinian at Eleusis, the worship of the archaeological deities Demeter and her daughter Persephone, also known as Kore, was based on the growth cycles of nature. Athenians believed they were the first to receive the gift of grain cultivation from Demeter. Extraordinarily, the goddess herself revealed to them the solemn rites in her honor. As we learned the Homeric hymn to Demeter, which relates to the foundation myth of Eleusinian's cult. So see, this is one of the first mysteries that the Greeks dealt with. And like I said, most of this stuff is about nature. It's either archaeology or nature or animals. These are the three things these people, or animals. These are the three things most of these people, I guess you say honored as deities. But like I said, it's like you would say worship as gods. ISIS and the spread of especially in Rome. So ISIS spread in Rome. So you know what I mean. This talking about ISIS. The goddess Isis, and how she was spread through Rome from Egypt. Isis was another Eastern goddess who court spread all over the Mediterranean. Similar to Demeter, Isis was considered a lawgiver and protector of the crops, while ritual purification and the sacred rites were performed in her honor. In Pharaonic Egypt, Isis was sister of a wife Osiris, god of the afterlife, and a mother of Horus, whom she appears suckling. In the Greek word, the earliest temple dedicated to Isis was found in Athens in the 4th century BCE. The cult spread rapidly through the 3rd century BC and was linked closely to the political and military activities of the Ptolemies. Isis remained a distinctively Egyptian goddess, and her cult maintained a clear Egyptian identity even after the conquest of Alexandria and the Romans. Okay, just talking about Isis, had it spread through Greeks. Now let's go to Isis. Same with Thoth. Isis, Egyptian is Set, one of the most important goddesses of ancient Egypt. Her name is the Greek form of an ancient Egyptian word for throne. So this is what I'm saying. People is going by the interpretation, even in the names, even in the deities. They'll say Isis, not even knowing that's not the Egyptian word. Then some people would know it's Aset. But how much people really go by that? Because I know most people say Isis. Romans adopt mysticism. And this is going from the Egyptians to the Greeks to the Romans, but most of us would tell you that the Greeks and Romans damn near are the same people. A big subject, which I am only just beginning to write about. The Romans were great believers and indeed lovers of mysticism and superstition in all aspects of life. We can see evidence of that scattered about ancient Rome culture to this day. Rome abundant in mystery, religions and cults were what went on inside what is to be kept secret to all non-members. Examples include Mithraism and the cult of Dionysus, forbidden for its violent and orgastic nature, which resulted in the unforgettable political scandal. So that's talking about the Romans. And they really loved the mysticism and all that because, like I said, they ain't nothing but a branch off of the Greeks. Emperor Constantine truce, Mithraism, and Christianity. Emperor Constantine heralded the victory of Christianity over Mithraism, and this meant that Mithraic altars, such as the one which can be seen under the Church of Saint Clement in Rome, were destroyed by the Christians, as Mithraism had the better at the time. One may stretch the imagination of a little and suggest that the culture of the Western world of today will have been Mithric. So what they saying is this other I guess you would say type of religion or whatever, mysticism, if this didn't get destroyed and Constantine didn't put it down and bring Christianity over, most of us would be this. Because we know why they created it. They created these things for power, okay? Constantine got rid of Christian sects. Constantine called the Council of Nicaea, which was a gathering of Christian leaders to determine the formal or orthodox belief of Christianity. The result of this council was the Nicene Creed, which laid out the agreed upon beliefs of the council. In 380 CE, the Emperor Theodosius issued the Edict of Thessalonica, which made Christianity, specifically Nicene Christianity, the official religion of the Roman Empire. Most other Christian sects were deemed heretical, lost their legal status, and had their properties confiscated by the Roman state. Okay, this is saying they made a type of Nicene Christianity and got rid of the most and put this type of Christianity over because it was always different sects. It was never one type of Christianity, just like today. Okay, and so This is not saying, from my reading and understanding, it's not saying that Constantine created Christianity. It's saying the form of Christianity was always around. I guess they would made the name Christians by calling them Christians. I guess you would say that's why he made it, but he didn't make that type of. They're saying he basically adopted it, took it, put it over top of the other cults, occultists and mysticism, and made it their own, and then got rid of the other Christian sects by claiming that they are heretical. They're heretics. Okay. Roman influence on Christianity. The Roman Empire did not become Christianized overnight. Roman religious beliefs changed slowly over time. At the time of the Russian Roman Empire fell, 467 CE, Christianity was still spreading. It is also important to remember that Christianity itself did not appear suddenly or fully formed. Christianity grew out of Jewish traditions and was shaped by Roman cultural and particular structures of several countries. Christianity was deeply influenced by both Judaism and Roman cultural institutions. We can't fully understand the development of Christian religion without putting it into these contexts. So this one I was talking about being influenced. So Christianity is coming on and once the Roman Empire took it, of course they put their own spin on it. They influenced it by Roman thoughts, and they say Judaism is in it. So you got to understand. This is what I mean when somebody else touches it. Mysticism and Paul letters. The mystical aspects of early Christianity finds its fullest expression, however, in the letters of Paul and the gospel according to John. For Paul and John, mystical experience and aspirations are always for union with Christ. It was Paul's supreme desire to know Christ and to be united with them. The recurrent phase in Christ implies personal union, participation in Christ's death and resurrection. The Christ with whom Paul is united is not the man Jesus who is known after the flesh. He was been exalted and glorified so that he is one with the Holy Spirit. So they saying that's a lot of what made him mysticism, part of mysticism, because of the one being united with or reunion with the one with a deity, which is Christ. But people want to accept that. They accept him as just a real man, but some people accept him as a deity, as a deity form. People like me would say it's the son. That he's the son, and he's other different gods too, but mixed in, but he's the son. Worship on Sunday. That's created into a man that has a story behind it, just like any other mythical mysticism story. Christianity and Roman mysticism similarities. The similarity of religious vocabulary is also great. Greek life was characterized by such things as democratic institutions, seafaring, gymnasium, and athletic games, theater, and philosophy. The mystery religions adopted many expressions from those domains. They spoke of assembly, of the mystia, the voyage of life, the ship, the anchor, and the port of religion, and the wealth of an initiate. Life was a stage, and the man was the actor. The Christians took over the entire terminology, but many pagan words were strangely twisted in order to fit into a Christian world. And that's what I'm talking about. When everything became translated and they took and put all these books together, they mixed in a lot of paganism through the words, and they added books. They can say what they want to. You ain't go hide the Romans was your enemy, but they have a book called the Book of Romans. Okay, let's get to the difference they're saying. There are also great differences between Christianity and the mysteries. This part 2. I'm going back to part 2 of it. Yeah, that was just a little hold on, let me turn this thing on. That was just a little you can watch part 2, anytime on Eric the Mad Scientist. That's just to get people in so I can get to this main event thing. That was the origin of mysticism, some things I found out on it. Come back and watch the video again if you want to see the whole thing. But this right here, this is the what destroyed the black community. I did a little editing with it, so I put a little stuff in front to put a little work that I put in, probably like 10-minute video before it, before it go into the jump. But it's just showing the work I put in because people always want to know if you just an internet person, or are you really in the field doing stuff, talking to people. I talk to rappers, I talk to women that's been molested, raped. I talk to kids, I talk to the youth, I talk to them, the homeless in the street, trying to talk to them, and people can see it. I do podcasts, all type of stuff. I be on different type of shows when it comes to this stuff. So this thing is really important to me. These conversations. So y'all enjoy this. What is destroying the black community? Share it. Okay, share it. Yeah, I enjoy this video, man. Anybody wanna forget HOK, man. It's the Lions Den. Y'all don't never see me over there. I ain't never going over there. That's just a fact, man. I go where I'm loved. I don't go where I'm hated at. But let's get to it.
Clipping loaded to the top, then get that together. Cause if you die, ain't no coming back, nigga, that's forever. I ain't no preacher, I ain't about to do no preaching. Never picked the side of my life, that's that diss floor, you sneak shit. That's the type of nigga shoot you after you came to an agreement. The beef on me, I'm chefing, nigga. I don't need no apron on, I never leave messes, nigga. Trey 5-7, no shells, that's a lesson, nigga. That murder gon' be unsolved till they find that weapon, nigga. That's a cold fact, don't even ask no other questions, nigga. They be thinking they the coolest of the cool, but they the lamest of the lame. I'm guessing that the lame today is cool. You weirdos, just some fools. It's two of us. It's mandatory. We both got the tool. I ain't trusting you with mine. Fuck if you trusting me with yours. Everybody aim ain't the same, and it's too early for the morgue. I woke up today, so I know it ain't my time at all. ET, I'm backed up. They pray I stay down on that floor. Fuck them all with an age dick, and they deserve it raw. Fuck you niggas, man. Rich, roll. Too many lyrical entities live inside my pen, but then again, I only release some reasons I hold them in. I'm hard to steal. Concrete jungle, black roses in the field. They interfere, there's too many harvests for them to live in fear. They live in fear. Rap is this Elohim and Supreme is here. Who volunteers? I'm sorry here. Solid on every road I step. Wiping up my footprints, I cover tracks like the train itself. Do this shit with mass all pussy so you can see the face. Staring at the eyes of your killer will help you meet your fate. Halloween night going trick-or-treating with 38s. Gorillas on deck with bananas rolling with 38s with no escape. Bombing those out the window, Jerome knows that I'ma go. Shoot for the face, who care where your armor go? My llama go. Loud as another funeral for mama though. And I'ma know if niggas is telling meet them and pop it, bro. Hit them with a bow head, Mr. Clean up and mopping flows. Out the door, adios. Catch me later, yeah, I'll be ghost. Rolling with the dead, cause I keep the spirits with me the most. Satan's at the door, should I open or should I leave it closed? So I'ma let them in, cause they told me keep my enemies close. Bitch, BBA shit, nigga. Huh? Early time, nigga. Crack shit, nigga. Yeah.
Know me, it's early time, yeah. If they don't know me, it's early time, yeah. Then get to know me, early time, yeah. Start some shit is going down, early time.
What's your name? Fake Loot Building there? It's again I'm gonna say it again, it's just the Maggie Walker building. You know, first female black woman, the history to create her own bank. You know, she did it in 1903, 1930. She became the chairman, and then later becoming the chair board president.
And we just so happen to be in the middle of a black community, aka a project, right?
Yeah. See the projects around it.
They called it the Harlem of the South.
See the projects around it.
This is at one point.
See what I'm saying?
This is a booming community, man. At one point, black money was flowing through here like nobody's business.
Yeah.
Then they built the highway in the middle of it. About the whole,
See, a lot of people don't know. This is they called this at one time. The Richmond Black Wall Street. This was we out here on the slave trail. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, a little bit of history of Richmond. You know what I'm saying? No, let's start this slave trail walk right here. Let's go. The guy trying to leave me. Look at him. Yeah, so we about to go to this slave trail. We just went to the Maggie Walker bank. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all see the history of the first black woman that created her own bank. Show the rich black wealth and great communities that we had down here. You know what I'm saying? Because we believe, melanated minds, we're trying to show that these black communities thrived in a time where it was way worse than it was out in the open, racism and discrimination against us. And they still created great communities, and we trying to figure out what can we do, what can we take away from what they did to, what can we do what the black communities did before us and start our own and find out the mistakes they had and find out what they did right. And then, we can start our own community back up like we used to.
Va, which means warrior. Our special guest in the Native Temple of Truth. I want all y'all out there to tune in, give some honor and some respect to this man. He's been teaching for years. And the subject we're dealing today on how what you are listed as oppresses us.
Juwanna Man. Well, the actor for Juwanna Man was on a black podcast, and they asked him, should black actors wear dresses, and are they forcing black actors to wear dresses? And his response was saying no, because the roles that he played wasn't really pushing homosexuality or. And I'm just saying this: any man that puts on a dress is considered a drag queen, okay, and can be considered a transsexual. If you can put on a dress and pretend to be a woman,
These kids are just killing people and killing people. You know what I'm saying? So, what you got to say about that?
Well, let me give you a couple stats. In 1994, we had the highest at 161.
All right.
Last year, the murder rate was 56, but the shooting has went up to 191 shootings. So as the shootings have went up, the murder has went down, but the shooting is these children, and is what they're shooting now, and that's what the problem is going on. They're shooting up houses, straight bullets are hitting kids, and stuff like that. But so me and you, I've been knowing you for a long time. We from the streets to we doing our different things now. Israelite, Muslim. So tell the people what type of music are you making now? Is it the same? What do you categorize your music now? Has it changed from when you was doing it years ago, or do you still do gangster music and conscious music, or do you mix it up, or have you changed your music completely?
I have, man, because before when I used to rap, I used to talk about a lot of, shooting, killing. It was like that, people from environments that we grew up in, that we seen. So, but as of now, like I'm more of a, more conscious with it of what I'm saying. I'm not just talking about knocking somebody's door for leaving a hole in it as big as the picture frame on the wall. Nah, it ain't like that. I'm giving them stories. And then now I got it to where I'm working on something else as far as dealing with Islam.
And let me ask you this. Just tell the youth just a little bit about, what I'm saying, what you feel like you had to do to get out the street mentality and get into the business mentality.
Well, for real, I ain't never saved myself with no street mentality because I always had a business mind since I've been in high school. For real.
Okay.
I got a few people, little cousins I be around and stuff, but I don't really be with too many people. I move by myself, and that's why I feel like how I made it this far now. I'm 26 years old. I'm still losing people that's under 17 years old.
So to get off the music thing real quick, give me your opinion on the street violence in Richmond, and would you be willing to put together a movement, get involved with a movement that'll try to just against stop the violence?
My thing to the streets, I feel like you can try to do a movement all you want to, but it's young people in certain hoods who don't got no OGs, no guidance, none of that. So it's like, why put a movement together and they still gonna do this? They not gonna come and support it and stop doing it.
Yeah.
They feel like they got a brother they lost and they gonna go do something for that brother, and then that opposite side the same way, and it's so crazy. I was talking to my brothers Deuce and Justin about this not too long ago, like how we could do that, and we always came up like it wouldn't be able to happen because the hood's not gonna come together.
See the things that you're doing, like I tell you, we ain't gonna be able to say it better. So the things you're doing now is already good. Like you like you say, you stayed out the streets.
Yeah.
I know you got positive music. Everybody, that's why I tell people have street music on the boat. You just have some reality music to where how you really feel too is going on. You know what I'm saying? And you say when you get your money, when you make it, you coming back. And you're gonna make sure you take care of the youth because that's how it's gonna happen. That's how we're gonna stop it. We can't stop it once it crosses the line. We gotta stop it before it gets to the line. We gotta stop it when it gets to the youth.
Is doing it now. So it's like,
there's so many community events. There's so many things you can get involved in. So many programs you can do. You can go to your own communities and talk to your own kids and do these things. But people just want to be loud on Facebook for attention.
Right.
There's so many things that I'm not even going to toot my own horn, but there's things that I've done that I have not put on Facebook, put on social media at all, because it's not for social media. It's not at all. And people don't understand that. And the violence in the city starts with us. But we're not out here talking to these kids, or we're not out here showing face and showing that we can be better out here no matter what we're doing, no matter if we're rappers, no matter if we're actors, podcasters, if we're working at McDonald's, if we're working at Wendy's, if we're doing whatever. We got to show these kids, man, that this is not the way, man, especially at this time. We are in a tumultuous time for Black America right now. We are going through it. We are getting killed. We are getting slaughtered by people that in place were first of all put here to put our Black asses back in chains. That's what they were here originally made for. Cops were made for that. They're killing us now on purpose and getting woke. Like the shit is ridiculous, man. So it starts with us. We have to get out here, talk to these kids, be a role model to these kids, be active in their lives, be fathers in their lives, be mothers in their lives, be aunties, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers in their lives, and show them that there's stuff better out here than just being in the streets and killing each other. I'm sick of every day waking up and scrolling my timeline or scrolling Instagram or so looking on Twitter and seeing another rest in peace post from a shooting from somebody that's under the age of 18.
Man,
what is going on, y'all?
Last night, Richmond police report 4 unrelated overnight shootings.
And see, this is the problem. This is the problem, like he said. People don't be around the youth. See, I be around the youth. I be around the youth all the time. I be talking to the youth, just like we be doing now. We talking to these rappers and we making sure we know they understand that your music means stuff. You know, you make rapping music about killing and killing and killing, and you can't say it's not my fault that people ain't killing. You are part of that reason. You see what I'm saying? So we gotta get into the community and get to our kids too. But we got to get at these rappers and these people, these actors that's out here and these pushing this stuff, because this is the stuff these kids gonna see. They're gonna look on YouTube and look up to these rappers. They're gonna look up because a lot of them don't have fathers. You see what I'm saying? But what's going on in this community with these murders? People like me, I ain't saying I'm the only one, but it's people like me who's warning people before it happened. I knew it was gonna happen. I told people 2-3 years ago. I said, if y'all keep ignoring this, it's
Richie Rose shit, Hey, look, could this be here will make you reminisce? Sitting back, pondering, wondering if this really it. I'm really it. Everyone told me since I was just a jit that I would make a difference. Like instantly started making hits. July 25th, moms and pops received the gift. That was me, the golden child, the black sheep. Now I'm grown and proud. Pops died, I was 12 or 13. Turned the crib at 13. I was some niggas' worst dream. Older sis was 16, older brother was 19. I looked up to him, I felt he taught me the right thing. I was skipping school and hanging all night on that night scene, flipping back, stealing cars and breaking their houses for nice things. Future looking lit, past colder than ice cream. Mom's throwing fits and I'm fighting and serving crack fiends. Where I'm from, you either the hustler or the doer. Had a fetish for cash and too much pride to be a doer. But don't get it twisted, I seen them hustlers turn to doers and doers turn to hustlers. That's the life in the sewer. My granny is my rock, she knew when grandbabies was rulers. So I'ma forever show my respect I ever knew you. Hallelujah. To God. Allah. To God. Elohim shit, nigga. Meditation. Hey, look, malicious wounded saw the battery as a jury charge. In and out of police cars, they never gonna respect the law. Expect the law to shoot you in your back and flip your closest friend. Claiming that you telling and he'll never see his fam again. Niggas fall for everything. How you stand for anything? Niggas tripping in they rain, I'm dry and catching them again. Cause I done live a hard life. My hands, I play my cards right. In that kitchen all night, turning salt to that hard white. I'm alright, but Logan, powder blue up on that left side. Ripping with my south side hitters, but I'm from west side. Yes, I'm riding on any vision in my eyes. My mind spiritual didn't help to be baptized. Skinny dip is swimming that lake of fire like 4 times. Flesh still a chats when I'm burning all on that inside. Sitting back, thinking in concentration and no mind. No lie, truthfully, honestly, I'm the truth. Yeah.
Peace, peace, peace. This is Eric the Man Sounds of True Knowledge. I wanted to speak on this real quick. You know, what's is destroying the black community. Because I see that I think we kind of got going away from that. We going into real ancient times. We're never going back into the times that have us in the condition that we had today. So I think I need to start speaking more, and we need to start speaking more. A lot of the stuff that's going on to the day amongst our people and how we can fix it. So I would be touching on 3 subjects: child traumas, gangsterism, and drill music. These are the things that I see. Some of the three main things that I see that's destroying our community, and I'm gonna show you why. Let's get to it. Childhood trauma. The word trauma is used to describe negative events that are emotionally painful and overwhelm in a person's ability to cope. Examples of such events include experiencing an earthquake or hurricane, industrial accident or vehicular accident, physical or sexual assault, and various forms of abuse experienced during childhood. These types of trauma that tend to have the greatest adverse psychological consequences are those related to interpersonal or intentional trauma. This includes childhood abuse and neglect. All right, so I'm just showing that as a child, you go through a lot of stuff, right? And it affects you as an adult. If you don't get help, it's going to affect you till you die. It's things that it also is things that can happen as a child that you might don't even remember, but it still affect you. So we need to start learning how to get help, talk to people, and stop teaching your children to be tough and just suck it up. No, go get help, go get some therapy, go talk to somebody. You know what I mean? If you got a backbone that you can talk to give you great advice, go talk to them. Do something. Don't just try to hold it in because eventually it will explode inside of you. Child abuse. The 4 types of child abuse according to the CDC. Let's see. Childhood trauma, child abuse. Child abuse and neglect are serious public health problems and adverse childhood experience. They can have long-term impacts on health, opportunity, and well-being. This issue includes all types of abuse and neglect of a child under the age of 18 by a parent, caregiver, another person in a custodial role, such as a religious leader or a coach or teacher, that results in harm, the potential for harm, or threat of harm to a child. There are 4 common types of abuse and neglect. So let's get to the first one. Physical abuse is the intentional use of physical force that can result in physical injury. Examples including hitting, kicking, shaking, burning, other shows of force against a child. Now, in the Black community, as I see that, we got a real thin line between abuse and discipline. And we got to understand what's the difference. And we got to understand the effects of these two. Because if you're physically abusing your child, you're physically destroying them, and you're mentally destroying them, and you're spiritually destroying them. You're destroying their soul. Because this is somebody they love that's beating them and hurting them and harming them, right? So what we got to understand again, discipline is for to learn. Discipline is for to teach. And abuse is to destroy. They are not the same things. So when you're trying to do discipline, understand, do not cross the line into abuse, because you are going to become the problem and not the solver. Sexual abuse involves pressuring or forcing a child to engage in a sexual act. It includes behaviors such as fondling, penetration, exposing a child, or other sexual activities. This is a thing that goes on a lot in our Black community. We don't talk about our uncles, our brothers, sisters, aunts, grandparents. A lot of these incidents have happened where these people have destroyed the trust of the children by doing sexual acts with them, molestation, rape. And a lot of women I talk to, when I say a lot, I mean about 80% of women I talk to, man, they'll tell me that they either been molested or raped, or dealt with almost being molested or raped, or that when they got a certain age, certain family members start trying to have sexual intercourse with them, like uncles, like people who seen them as a kid growing up and waited for them to grow up, and now they just trying to holler at them. A lot of that stuff goes on. Emotional abuse refers to behavior that harm a child's self-worth or emotional well-being. Examples include name calling, shaming, rejecting, withholding, love, and threatening. Now, this is the stuff I'm talking about. We got to watch what we say to our children too, because I've heard women say, "You just like your daddy." Ain't nothing like you. You ain't nothing like your daddy. Or I heard people daddy say, "Man, you ain't. You just like your mama. Crazy. You just like your mama. Got a mouth. Stuff like that. Or you ain't gonna never be nothing. Or you just bad. Or you'll never go graduate. Just anything because these words are spells, and when you put this inside people's head, they can believe it. I've seen people that's not even crazy be called crazy and become acting crazy, and it becomes a benefit because when people think they're crazy, they teach them to treat them a certain way. I only had people be called dumb and act dumb. I don't been people that think that somebody was a gangster, and once somebody called them a gangster, they'll try to act gangster and never knew they was ever a gangster. And this is the things that's the problem. So when you say things, understand words create and words influence. Neglect. Is it fair to meet a child's basic physical and emotional needs? These needs include housing, food, clothing, education, access to medical care, and having feelings violated and appropriately responded to. So this is another thing that I think the problems that a lot of us have. We don't give the kid attention as much as we should. I work on that myself. Even though my son is like going on is 20 years old now, I still try to talk to him. I still let him know I love him because in my generation, man, the way I grew up, I was taught to be tough, taught to hold your fellas in, taught to don't let nobody see you cry. When you say you love people and all this, you all smushy, you all soft. And that's how I was taught. And I'm learning not to let my son, you know, not to teach this to my son because this is a destructive teaching and not a teaching that teaches you how to be a human. This teacher that teaches you how to be a monster. Okay. Effects of abuse. This is a PhD peer review site, whatever you want to call it, of abuse, because I know people want to see stuff like this. So I just went back to show this. Large body of evidence has demonstrated that exposure to childhood maltreatment at any stage of development can have long-lasting consequences. It is associated with the marked increase of risk of psychiatric and medical disorders. This review summarized the lecture investigating the effects of childhood maltreatment on disease, vulnerability for mood disorders, specifically summarizing cross-section and more recent longitudinal studies demonstrating that childhood maltreatment is more prevalent and associated with increased risk for first mood episode recurrence, greater greater comorbidities, and increased risk of suicidal adaptation and attempts in the individual with mood disorders. It summarizes that persistent um, alterations associated with childhood maltreatment, including alterations in the hypnothalamic, pituitary, adrenal axis, and inflammatory cytokines, which may contribute to disease, vulnerability, and more pernicious disease course. The authors discuss several candidate genes and environmental factors. So they're just saying you just basically saying what I'm saying, the effects that it have and the alterations that these things can have on a child. That a child be growing up and have trust, love, be a whole different type of person, and the incident can change them for the rest of their life. Okay, 10 years from now, after being abused, PTSD, anxiety, sad depression. Okay, 10 years later, after being raised by loving parents. So this 10 years later of each one. So after being abused, 10 years during the process later, PTSD, anxiety, sad depression, this is the things you will start seeing. So when you see this in your child, um, just ask them, see what's going on, see if anything have happened to them. After being raised by loving parents, confident, friendly, outgoing, happy. Now we're not saying everybody because we know there's some people with parents and they still don't know how to act, but it could be outside traumas and events and bullying and stuff that can actually affect a child too. So it's not just the parents. It is not the bruises on my body that hurt. It is the wounds of the heart and the scars of the mind. Asha Marza, right? We can deny our experience, but our body remembers. Janae um, McElvany, Spirit Unbroken, Abby story. So when you go to war and you come back from war, you could try to forget the war, even though most don't. You could try to forget the traumas that happened, even though most don't. But you'll never forget that wound that's on your body. That wound that's on your body is gonna never make you, will never let you forget. You see what I'm saying? So you have to deal with that wound. All right, let's go. This is the second thing, gangsterism. Gangsterism is one of the main things that is destroying our community. Been doing it for a long time, and we just don't understand how it's doing it. We understand the things that it created that's doing it, but we don't understand how it came in an origin of it. All right. Character of gangsterism activities include. Oh, let me go to the definition first. I can't do it now, but activities include intimidation and extortion, vandalism, theft, assault, swarming, drug trafficking, stabbing, shooting, sometimes murder. Members may wear certain kinds of colors or clothing in very specific ways or use special hand signals, nicknames, or symbols. Graffiti is not just art. Now, that's another story I'm going to get into about the hand signals and all that, but this is what the gangsterism is. So organized crime, gangs, all that is under the same thing of gangsterism. Just organized crime is more organized, and gangs is not. It just that's how they really look at it. Um, Even though a lot of gangs have become organized too. All right. Now, I'm putting him up, not saying that he created this gangsterism, but I'm telling you, I'm showing you that it was black people that brought gangsterism in by copying from the European. Okay. Born in 1905, Bumpy Johnson was an American crime boss in Harlem neighborhood of New York City who first came to power under the racket boss Stephanie Sinclair and later did business with Italian mobster Charles Lucky Luciano. Johnson would go on to mentor Frank Lucas, who would take care of Harlem's operation and turn it to the haven for drug trafficking. Now, this is one of the most famous men in New York as far as being a gangster. He's one of the pioneers. He's one of the people like, okay, basketball been around, but until Jordan came, so people like Magic Johnson, Jordan, stuff like that came. Wilt Chamberlain came. He the first one that changed it. Then Jordan changed it to another level. So he's one of the people who is the face of it, who changed it, who made you want to be like him. Okay. And he mentored a lot of people in New York. He mentored a lot of gangsters, a lot of gangsters. Um, 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 a lot of gangsters copy themselves from this type of person. And what I'm saying, these are the people that we celebrate. These are the people you see in documentaries. These are the people that you see that people act like they were our heroes, that what they wasn't. They were the people who destroyed our communities. African American organized crime against North phenomenon. All right, that's where I got this from. In 1988, New York Police Commissioner Lee Brown explored the issue of street crime in the African American community, but made no connection between African American criminal syndicates Drugs and street crime. Heller, a respected historian of organized crime, has addressed the relation between blacks and organized crime, identifying a close link between vice activities and black life in the cities. Other studies document black gambling and syndicates and illicit narcotics activities. The Black Mafia has been reported in Philadelphia, and kinship relation among its members is suggested that it is analogous analogous to the Cosa Nostra. The desire to establish kinship as a bonding agent among black criminal organizations represents a technique used to install loyalty among members. What is of further interest in exploring the theme of kinship or family is the number of successful African American racketeers who were born in the South and organized their enterprise around the family. Okay, that's part one. Part two, although there is a inexplicable relation between gambling and loan sharking and legitimate business among African American racketeers, there's an underlying belief among some in law enforcement and research community that Black Americans lack the necessary access to organized crime. Further, there's perception that African Americans suffer the effects of law. The, this proportionately. Further, there is a perception that the African Americans suffer the effects of criminal law disproportionately to other racial groups. When racketeers serve as a role models for youth, when legitimate members of society witness the social, economic, and particular mobility of racketeers, and when government ignores the reality of organized crime, the message is clear that money buys dignity. Now, what they're saying is it was a point that they didn't think black people could be organized crime like the mafia. For one, because what? Well, you're black. Two, because you didn't have the same resources. They think you didn't have connections to the police. They think you didn't have connections to the politicians, and the way the laws was built to keep us down. They didn't think you was gonna be able to do it. Right? And this is what they're saying. Then they're saying that these racketeers, these criminals, these drug dealers, these gangsters, they became influential to the street people because they seen the connection with the government. They seen how police didn't bother them. They seen how they got away with a lot of stuff. They seen the money the cause of a woman. You see what I'm saying? And these are things that made you want to be like them. And I know that for experience. All right. Now, something wicked in the way that comes a historical account of black gangsterism offers the wisdom of warning for the African American leadership. Let me see if I can read this now. Black Americans who existed outside the American dream have historically had a direct relationship with street revolutionaries and ghetto superstars, more than the appointed black leadership. Hence, it continues to be an unfair criticism for any integrated black leader who suggests that another black leader is not authentic enough to have universal appeal, particularly when there is a notable social distance between the majority of black leaders, past and present, who emerged from the middle class and the black underclass. The gang has unintentionally been a significant socialization agent in the gangland areas. Thus, black leadership should access the wisdom of the gang when looking for answers to the tough life course conditions of the urban underclass residents. This article provides a brief history about black gangs, and the gangs has been the black experience in America. After banging our heads against the wall of oppression and with tricks of blood on our foreheads, we cry for our manhood. We cry for our manhood in the late night hours of experience of a day littered with frustration over what we are not allowed to do and who we are not allowed to become. We cry for our manhood as we watch your march into the communities. And real men, we cried in defiance after watching you drag our fathers off to prison. We cried for our manhood because we were just kids. When you came and you take the men and our lives away, we cried for our manhood when you bashed our heads and spilled our blood and offered as an affectionate vices to us. So this firstly saying that a lot of black leaders they feel coming out the middle class, a lot of them didn't come from the poverty and oppression and the things that we've seen, so they couldn't really understand and speak to us and get us out of the conditions because they never been in it. And then secondly is saying that the effects that the government and the effects that they did to us by taking our fathers away, by taking the manhood away, and not letting us become men, but become gangsters and thugs. Okay. Effects of gangsterism. Gangs increase the levels of crimes in communities. It set a bad example for kids in the area. They create an image of power and respect, when in reality they drop out of school, struggle with unemployment, abuse drugs and alcohol at the end, or end up in jail. Communities fear them because of the harm they can bring to others. Now, people will try to defend and say, "Yeah, we do some good stuff," but this gangsterism has done way worse than it has done good. And I don't even think they can do enough good to replace the worst they have done unless they stop doing the bad, because the longer the bad going, the longer the track ahead they're going to be. So if you want to do good, you got to stop the gangsterism. You got to stop that in the mentality. You want to keep the group, but take the gangsterism out the group. Don't try to keep it and then try to still be conscious and wake people up. Drill music. Now, this is a real thing that's going on with the youth, and I want to show you about this. Drill music, a type of contemporary rap from Chicago. It came in to the UK in 2012. It has spread from Brixton to all areas of the country. It's characterized by ominous beats, haunting melodies, and dark lyrics with roots in the disadvantaged inner city London. It appeals to young people who grew up in deprived areas. And I don't know why they're trying to put this in London, but London got it from New York. New York is more influenced on London when it comes to drill. Chicago created the drill scene, dude. You know what I'm saying? New York kind of took it and created their own drill set with it, where it sounds kind of like the UK drill. So that's, and then you got, man, and listen, I can show you drill in Turkey, Spain, Africa, South America. All these places are doing drill music. Now you say, what's the difference between drill music and gangster music? Drill music is you have to do something. You have to go kill somebody. You have to go do a drill. You have to go rob somebody. You have to go do something and then come rap about it. Then brag about it. Go kill a guy that's your op. Come back to the studio and rap about killing him. Or somebody killed the guy or the dude that you hated. He got killed by somebody else, but you still want to make fun of him. This is what drill music is. Drill music is not music. Drill music is just talking crazy, bragging, gang banging on track. That's it. All right. Now people always tell me, man, you can't stop blaming the rappers. We gotta stop blaming this. Listen, you wouldn't say that if you understood. If you really understood what music does to the brain, a person would not be trying to defend rappers or trying to defend the music they do. Now let's get to it. Music to the brain. Experts are trying to understand how our brains can hear and play music. A stereo system puts out vibrations that travel through the air and somehow get inside the ear canal. These vibrations tickle the eardrum and are transmitted into the electrical signal that travels through the auditory nerve to the brainstem, where it is resembled into something we perceive as music. Music is structural, mathematical, and architectural. It's based on relationships between one note and the next. You may not be aware of it, but your brain has to do all that commuting to make sense of it. And this is what I understand. This is just the beginning of when you hear it. This is everything that has to go on for it to get inside your brain. This is not just something that just plays and you just listen to it. This is an effect of the brain. This is a thing that goes inside your brain, and your brain had to commute it. Your brain had to do a lot of stuff to understand it. Okay. How music affects us. The brain perceives music via the auditory canal. Various parts of the brain are attributed, so decoded, activated to decode, make corrections of memory, and perhaps to evoke that of to be, evoke response. I can't see what the other word is. Strong music activates more parts of the brain. The brain makes powerful connections and can literally be bathed in I can't see the word. Hold on, I can't even see that, but this is showing how it affects the brain. I showed it before that it messes with your immune. It can mess with your immune system. It does a lot of stuff. I'm sorry about this one. I can't see. It's a little kind of broken. Let me see if I can read this last one. The brain makes powerful connections and can literally be bashed into giving a whole brain reaction during which we are vamped by feelings and immersed into the music. So there's sometimes people say they get lost into music. Some people, like I said, I showed you before, that time that we lose a track of time. You know what I mean? We lose a lot of, there's a lot of, it's for a mood. If you're in a bad mood, you can listen to some good music to help you get in a good mood. It's a lot of things, and y'all don't, and that they don't understand that this stuff actually works with your immune system, your brain, your body. A lot of this, the music is not just something for entertainment. Memory. What's happening in your body when you listen to it? You form a recall memory due to the release of dopamine. Your mood is boost due to the release of the feel good neurochemical dopamine. You perform better on a spectral test and standardized tests. Your blood pressure falls or rises depending on the speed and type of the music you listen to. You're able to push harder and longer in your workout due to the music effects on your physical capacity and arousal. You actually experience physical sensations on your skin in response to particularly moving music. So these are the things that show to your body, man. These are things that you see this. So this is music is not just entertainment. Music is physical, is mental, is spiritual, is all is emotional, is mood, whereas everything is together with this music thing. And that's why this music can influence you to hurt people or help people. Drill rap is not music, it is a weapon of destruction that uses music. Drill music must die for our people to live. That is my saying. Drill music must die for our people to live. Because the youth has no chance with this music. I'm trying to tell you, no, you think we was bad with that gangster music? This music is going to destroy the youth. Genocide destroyed.
Jess wanted to start a business.
Jess, you
Yeah, thank y'all for watching. I wish somebody would have came on to see if we could talk about this, but I just want to say the stuff I go. You know, topics like this, so don't really worry about the views. I'm thankful for the people that wanted to watch because it showed who really care about what's still going on, man. Because we are becoming in a time where reality is getting took from us, history is getting took from us, and we're losing we're losing a lot of ways to solve the problems that happen. So I agree with that. I work out harder with music. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Warrior people go to war when music happens. People beat on drums. Think about it. People play music before they even go to war. Put up some likes. You know what I mean? This is supporting Lions Den. You know what I'm saying? So I let the Lions Den support the Lions Den. The music that David played on the heart make him want to kill him. So I don't know about that one. I mean, I don't know. I will have to read that story, but I'm just saying, like say you in a depression mode, right? You suicidal. You drink something. You get high. You listen to some of that suicidal music. It damn near can make you take that thought into reality, and that's what people not really understanding. Well, when I talk about the child abuse thing, we got to understand when we children, a lot of stuff that happened to us becomes bigger. Like me and being bullied as a child, I became a bully. I got to a point where ain't nobody gonna make fun of me. You couldn't joke on me. You couldn't do nothing. I swing. I've been in over 100 fights, and that's no exaggeration, nothing. I've been over 100 fights. You know what I'm saying? Just in school alone, I probably been in like 50, 40. You know what I'm saying? You know, I got track records of everybody know who I am that I live at. And they'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? That ever been around me. But you know, I changed from that. But I understand, and that's why I'm coming back to try to help. It ain't about me trying to fix things. Is to plant the seed, because I believe everything Tupac said. You plant that seed, man, it's gonna change things. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I can do. If I change a couple families, if I change a couple kids, if I can change a couple teens, you know, man, that's gonna really be important to me. Yeah, y'all somebody jump on, you know. Let me know if I got anything else. But yeah, these are three things that I picked. You know, I heard somebody say this is just a piece of it. Yeah, it's just a piece. But I already spoke on mental health. We already spoke on mental health on here, and stuff like that. But them the main things: mental health, gangsterism, you know, music, the music, you know, and the child thing is really important. But because in our community, I know where I'm from, I had to toughen a lot of stuff in. You know, when I was bullied, I couldn't go to my mom and daddy and say I'm getting bullied. You know what I'm saying? I used to cry in the bed and everything until I got a certain age where I stepped up to him, was like, y'all ain't doing it to me no more. You know what I'm saying? So, and it affected me. I didn't know how to control it, because after that, and I found out I could stand up, I found out I could fight. I just went on a spree of violence. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm just letting people know. But again, thank God for the people who are watching. You know, I don't expect a lot of people to get on this, because when I talk about these subjects, a lot of people disappear. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said about this molestation stuff and child abuse, a lot of people know people that's doing it, don't step up. I mean, that's just real life. You know, but we just come from 05. Y'all enjoy the videos and the 32 tournament. Support that again. 32 tournament is $20, I believe, to get in, or $20 or $30 to get in. It's $700 prize. You know, support the live performance that they have in the Lions Den. I know they got a lot of more stuff coming. Thank you, Karima. You know what I'm saying, for letting me put this information out. You know what I'm saying? And thanks for the Lions Den, and salute to JJ.
You're welcome.
Peace out.